Communication is the most important foundational piece of a loving relationship. And when you know your partner's true, unique love language, you can have a deeper and stronger connection in addition to a forever lasting relationship. Stay around till the end because we are going to examine love languages. And you're not going to want to miss the end part because I'm going to actually give you examples of some love languages that are unique to some particular type of people. Well, lovebirds, welcome to Ask the Loveologist. I'm April. I am a certified matchmaker, certified love coach, and the president and CEO at Authentic Love, where interracial relationships are our number one priority. Now, if you're out there and this is your first time to join us, go ahead and put a 1 in the comments and then tell me exactly where you might be viewing from, what state you might be in. So let me check here to make sure that we have our systems rolling on all the platforms. All right, I guess the internet is a little slower than I am, so it is not telling me anything yet. Okay. So tell me if you can hear me well. All right, happy Monday. Woohoo. Yes. Also, could you just do me a wonderful favor? I can't talk today. And like, share, subscribe if you are on YouTube, follow if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, and I would greatly appreciate it because that would help me be able to continue to give you some nice content. So let's get started. Now, I know that many of you are quite familiar with the book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And in these love languages, he talks about acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch, and words of affirmation. And I bet when you saw my post that were advertising today's talk, you just really thought we were really going to talk about those 5 love languages, didn't you? Well, nope. Today, I've got a little surprise for you because these are my thoughts about the 5 love languages, which I believe are awesome. And I believe this man did a wonderful job in expressing them and sharing them with the world so that we could have better relationships. However, these 5 that I just listed that are in his book are actually the basic love languages that most people have allowed to govern their relationships since this book was published back in 1992. But like I said, they are wonderful and they have helped people level up their relationships. But here's the deal. To have a strong, forever lasting relationship, we must, did I say we must? We must go quite a bit deeper. Everyone actually has their own unique, or shall I say true unique love language. So after reviewing this book, are you so focused on your partner's love language that you don't even know your own? You know, often we found that people are so focused on their partner's love language that they're actually giving love in the way that they themselves would like to receive love rather than the way their partner really wants love. And if this is something you're doing, you want to pay attention to the fact that you are actually not communicating clearly. And we don't want you to be communicating in such a way that it's not really clear to your partner, because one thing we know about communication is that communication is something that can certainly cause conflict in a relationship if it is not given and received clearly. So, again, are you so focused on your partner's love language that you've actually been giving them love or communicating love to them in the way that you would prefer to receive love rather than the way that they prefer to receive love? So, my first question for you this evening, or a group of questions, shall I say, are: do you even know what your own love language is? Can you identify your love language with words that are not in the book, The Five Love Languages? Let's think about that for a minute. Can you identify your own without using those words from that book? Because we're talking about today a unique, true love language that is actually unique to every person. So, what is it that really makes you feel loved? And again, do you know your own love language? Now, I know that many of you women out there have probably been wanting to know for years, what is a man's number one love language? I know that's been on your mind for quite a while, because as people who are out here dating and we start meeting new gentlemen, we're just wondering, what could be his love language? Because you want to get it right, don't you? Well, as I was preparing for today, I came across an article that I'm going to tell you about in a minute. But here's the deal. When I think about a man and what his number one love language is, I believe that it is respect. And that is something that I have believed for years. Okay. And so, as I said, I came across an article while I was preparing for today. And it just so happens that this gentleman agrees with me. And I say he agrees with me because he's probably young. And I came across this realization back in the 80s. And so the title of his article is, What's a Man's Number One Love Language and How It Can Change Everything? This author's name is Cecil Carter, and this is an article that was written under the Good Men Project Conversations No One Else is Having. I read through this article and I was like, this is quite interesting, because he didn't just stop by telling you that a man's number one love language is respect. He also talked about how when it comes to the love languages, this is another area where men and women perceive love languages different. And he says that it's because men perceive respect in the way that we do things for them as well as doing things with them. They bring all of that into one area in their minds as you showing respect. So that means that there are several things that if you are not doing them or half-heartedly doing them, he may perceive you are not showing respect. And he's beginning to, start having some, other thoughts in his head. And he's not maybe feeling so loved. But I really found this article also interesting because, as I said, the man went on to explain many more things about this respect and a man's love language. And I'm going to tell you, I suggest that you read it, because he breaks down a lot of things that are very, 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 very helpful. And if you would like to get the link to the article, you're welcome to DM me or put a message in my messenger, And I'll be glad to share that with you. But like I said, there are many things in this article that women really need to know and understand. But now we know that is a man's number one love language, respect. So I'm going to take a break here for just a minute and get me a little water. Look over here in the chat, in the comments, and see who's over there. Hello, Apostle Jackie. All righty. Oh, and she's on Facebook. This is great. So now I know for sure that Facebook is doing its thing. All right. This is great. This is great. I wanted to remind you, as we talked about last week, that I will be starting a newsletter. Right now, it is planned to come out in January for the first January. Help me, I'm on the wrong month. In March for the first time. The title of this newsletter is Interracial Love Chronicles: Insights for Navigating Your Interracial Dating Experience. Now, if you would like to be on the mailing list to start receiving the Interracial Love Chronicles, that you can also put me a message in my DMs or in my messenger and just let me know that that is what you would like to have. And you can also go ahead and put your email in there and we will get you on that list. So also remember, this is Ask the Loveologist. So if you have questions or you have comments that you would like to put out there, be sure that you put those in the comment box so that I can get to those, because I always try to make sure that I get all of them before we end our broadcast here. All right, I see here it says, yes, I am someone who loves intellectual property with my mate. Okay, I think we got that on the list here later in the story. So I'm going to share also what my number one love language is as well before we end the broadcast. So again, if you would like to be on the mailing list to receive my newsletter, it will be bi-monthly. And did I say that right? No, bi-weekly. Okay. The Interracial Love Chronicles: Insights for Navigating Your Interracial Dating Experience. Go ahead and make sure you send me a message, whether it's in my DMs on Instagram, my messenger on Facebook, or the chat comments on LinkedIn. I don't see any other questions or comments right at the moment, so we're going to keep going. All right. How do you learn your partner's unique love language? Well, one way you can do that is by watching how they communicate without words, their body language, their facial expressions. I know I'm often told that my face tells everything. I was talking to having a chat with a girl the other day, and she was like, from the look on your face, that was really serious. And I was like, oh, my face is doing it again. So this is one way for you to be able to tell your person's or your partner's unique love language, especially if they're making, shall I say, a specific expression repeatedly during a similar type of situation. You can easily tell whether they're feeling comfortable and loved or not. I remember when we were on Clubhouse, I had this couple on, and I consider them a unique couple because they are in many ways different from many, many people. And the gentleman was sharing on the broadcast. He was sharing about how and what made him feel confident and calm in his role in their relationship and in their home. And what he said, one of the main things was that he said, I studied my wife. I'm going to tell you, that sentence right there sticks with me now. It just rings loud in my head because he said, I studied my wife. And I was like, okay. And then it was months after that I was chatting with this same gentleman, and I finally got the nerve up to ask him about his side of their love story and how their love story developed. And as he continued talking and telling me, I was like, oh my God, he didn't just study his wife. He was paying attention, very close attention, and studying this woman even before they started going out dating. So remember, I'm always telling you, when it comes to interracial relationships, these men typically, they check you out, and they may check you out for a while. So this is another way for you to understand and know your partner's unique love language, to study them. Mind you, the man didn't say, I checked her out and I paid attention to what she said and did. He said, I studied her. That's a whole different level of giving a person your attention, but not only giving them your attention and recognizing things, but putting it in your brain in such a way that you don't intend to be letting it go. You want to make sure you remember these things. So this is another way that you can understand, learn, and know your partner's unique love language. And as I said earlier, we are talking about going deeper, going to another level above the book, the 5 love languages, because those 5 love languages are something that are across the board. If you really want to have that forever relationship, a strong bond in your relationship, you've got to know that person's unique love language. So I want to share with you 3 examples of unique love languages. Because today, what I wanted to do was I really wanted to stir your mind and help you think about some things in various situations that you may be in that can help to strengthen and elevate your relationship. Highly successful, highly intelligent women have a kind of a different love language or unique love language. As it was said in the comments, she said, I am someone who loves intellectual property with my mate. So what she's saying is she wants intellectual stimulation. She wants someone who can communicate about the things that she knows about. Someone that can communicate using a certain level of language. And someone who can communicate in a way that you just kind of know what's going on, and you don't necessarily have to use words. And so for you gentlemen out there who are interested in approaching and maintaining a relationship with a young lady who's got high level of education, she knows herself with confidence, these are some of the things that you want to think about. I know another young lady that I was listening to her tell us what was going on in her life, and she was telling us about she always gets this one question, and that is, how does your relationship work with your husband? And the reason she gets that question is because her husband is disabled. He's in a wheelchair. I call it a Superman wheelchair, you know, the one with the little knob where they have to control it by the knob. He can't walk on his own. He only has a certain amount of movement with his hands. Very good looking young man too. But they're like, how does your relationship work? And what she said was that her husband gives her the emotional support that she needs. Notice she didn't say, oh, he just gives me emotional support. She said he gives her the emotional support she needs. And this is what triggered in my head when she said that. I thought back over the last 2 years and all the things that she has gone through. Not things that have to do with their marriage or anything, but things that she has gone through personally. And when she said he gives her emotional support, I was like, oh, wow, this is some serious stuff. And I was really happy for her. Okay, now, when it comes to myself, because we're talking about these unique love languages, I like a man who understands me. And y'all are going, well, we all like that, right? Well, oftentimes I am misunderstood. And I'm misunderstood because I'm a combination of a whole lot of different things. And a lot of people, when they meet me, the things that I'm a combination of, shall I say, they don't even think about those things. And then when I start opening my mouth and talking, they're like, you do what? You like, huh? And guys are like that too. So my real, unique, number one love language is to have a gentleman who doesn't just understands me, but understands me truly, deeply. And that is my unique love language. So I want to encourage you to think about, what is your unique love language? What is it that you're really going to want in this relationship for it to really flourish and be strong? And think about, maybe if you're not in a relationship right now, think about some people that you have been in a relationship. When you were in the relationship with them, did you get their love language? Or now that we're sharing these things with you about having a unique love language, are there some things that you need to pay attention to in your future relationships? Well, I'm going to look over here again and see what we have going on over here in the comments and get me a little bit of water. Oh, I see what you're saying there. I understand what you're saying. She said that I want the same thing, the intellectual property, but I want it stated in a different way. Okay. All right. So does anyone else have any comments over there that you would like to share with us to add to this discussion? You know, we are still filling our waiting list for the fire and ice mixer. And let me see if I can get these controls together and do this correctly. There we are. So we have the link for that scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And, you know, the fire and ice mixer is a little gathering that we have online because it is virtual, where we have gentlemen and women, or shall I say bachelors and bachelorettes, to come and join us for fun, games, music, and also we have what we call the main event at this fire and ice mixer, which is where you would actually have the opportunity to have one-on-one conversations, or shall I say chats, with persons that you may be compatible with. This is another avenue for singles to be able to meet new people in a safe environment and not have to deal with all of that swipe left, swipe right. Because when we have these, I actually look and try to match you up with someone who has similar interests as you. So we're looking forward to having you join us in our next Fire and Ice Mixer. The way that you find out all the details about when it's going to be and what all the things that are going to happen is that you would want to be sure that you, um, that you follow that link down there, fill out the form so that we can get the information to you about the Fire and Ice Mixer. And as I spoke earlier, I talked about the Interracial Love Chronicles, our newsletter that'll be coming out in March, not January, in March. And again, the title of it is Interracial Love Chronicles, Insights for Navigating Your Interracial Dating Experience. And you are welcome to put a message in my messenger, in my DM on Instagram, in the message or comment section in LinkedIn. And I will be looking for those so that I can get all this wonderful, exciting information out to you. Okay, I see a couple of questions over here. She said, I am not sure, but I have had intellectual, but personality is a key to me. Okay. All right. There's a question here that says, do you work with clients to help them find and understand their particular love language? You know, that is an excellent question there, because in the beginning of working with me, this is something that we will come up with quite quickly. Because when you know your own love language, you can handle things a lot easier and a lot smoother. But in anything you do, when you know yourself, then hey, you can just handle whatever easily. So yes, this is something helping my clients to understand their own love language is something that we do early on when you work with me, whether it is one-on-one or in one of my courses, because that's one thing I definitely like to help people do, to know what it is that they truly, truly want and desire in a relationship. I'm not sure what this comment means. Never did mature to commitment. Do you find that people have more than one love language? And if there is more than one, is one stronger than the other? That is a very interesting question. When you go through that book, The Five Love Language, you will find that people typically have more than one. As a matter of fact, they may have all five. The deal with the five love languages is that which ones are their primary, or if you took all five of them and you put them on a sheet of paper, how would you prioritize them? Which one would be your most important one down to your least important one out of the five? And then there are many, many other love languages out there. And again, they're unique according to the person. So I feel like when you know a person's, what I want to say, array of love languages, and you know how important they are to the person, and you can prioritize them, that's going to make you a better partner. That's going to make you be able to communicate with them a lot better. Because like I said, if you know your own love language, and then you know their love language, and you're giving them what they want versus what you want, you can really, really make that relationship strong and solid. All right, I'm still looking over here to see if there's something else. All right, I'm not seeing anything else over here. Another thing that I did not mention is this. I also work with people one on one, and I know that a lot of people who are dating like to be very, very, very private with whom they are getting dating assistance from. So I do work with people one on one, and you are welcome to um, send me a message so that you can get on my calendar and we can schedule you a time to have a one on one consultation to see how we can work together and how I can assist you. So I don't want you to think that I don't work with people one on one, but yes, we definitely do that. But right now, we are building this list of people to attend our next Fire and Ice Mixer, and we want you also to be a part of the Interracial Love Chronicles. Well, gentlemen, ladies, I don't see any other comments or questions in the chat over here. Again, I am April, the Loveologist. I'm a certified matchmaker, certified love coach, the president and CEO at Authentic Love, where interracial relationships are our number one priority. I'm looking forward to seeing you all again here next week at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here at Ask the Loveologist. And don't forget, you can also send me questions and we can discuss them right here. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye now.